And
There we go, we're live. Hello folks, how is everyone? So today we've got MD95TSI and Crystal. How are you folks?
Hey guys, okay.
Hi guys.
Hang on.
Working on chat here real fast.
There we go. Right, just have to sort out the chat then. So have you been flying today?
Not today. I got up today and actually cut the grass. I think I'm gonna shut the right thing down. I should. Yes, okay. I usually push the wrong button. I didn't want to do that on you. Okay, sorry.
That's not a problem.
The day is still young though.
Yes.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, it is true.
And I have my baby charged up that I'm gonna take out the Inspire 1 today, I believe.
Oh, yes. Beautiful.
So,
beautiful.
Thank you.
How does it with the Inspire, because obviously I've only ever flown the Phantom 3 and the Spark. So is the Inspire very much different to those two, or are you looking at roughly the same sort of flight pattern as the Spark and the Phantom 3?
Yeah, I'd say roughly, to me it reminds me just like flying like my Phantom 2. Like the reaction, fast sticks, how your Phantom 3, you know how the Phantom protocol is real fast on the sticks?
Yeah.
Same way with that. So imagine 3 times your propellers and it acting that way. That thing will pitch. If you're in the air, it will come down like this and just right to the ground. I mean, you know, the weight and everything, it drops it right to the ground.
Good God. So what sort of reach have you got on that then? Can you take it out, say 2 miles or so?
It is said to go, I think it was 3.4 miles in the manual when I got it. I have not pushed it that far yet. I want to, and I think today is going to be the day because it seems like it's beautiful out. It's warm. So I think today is going to be the day. Yeah, I'm going to try to drive it. I took my solo, what was it from here? It was round trip. So it was I did 3.4 miles with the solo round trip. So I'm going to try to do that in one trip with the Inspire, you know, watching the battery life and everything, you know, calculating and all that. Because what I do when I go a long distance range run, I will match my going out speed to whatever my bird returns home. That way I know I can go out 50% battery and come back, you know, right, at the same exact speed, and everything should be good. So
yeah, excellent stuff. So hello everyone. Hello everybody in the chat.
Hey everybody, Rom, Daniel, Neil, Southpaw. Who else am I missing here? QDL, Justin, what's up, brother? Thank you guys for hanging out.
Thanks so much for joining.
Yes, sir.
Right, so in case some people in the chat or some people watching and not in the chat have not come across your channel, either of your channels, Chris, would you start? And then Crystal, would you like to come in as well and let everyone know exactly what your channels are about? Okay.
My channel the name is MD95TSI. I do drones. I like working on drones. I'm getting now into building drones. This is actually my first success build, and all I'm waiting on is a receiver, and I will be out flying it. I do the camera drones. I just like tinkering, you know, like I do it all. Like when I go in, I go in. So I just like, the channel is more or less about learning, hanging out. We do a drone network show every Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. You come and hang out, learn things, ask questions if you have questions. We like to answer questions, help people. Yeah, everything in the drone world, basically, I'm doing it. Like I do the cameras, the racers, the toy grades, the bashers, the micros. I mean, everything. You know, I like all drones. Everything about the drones. I love flying them all. There's like none that I don't want to fly.
That's a good way to be.
Yeah. And I also do 3D printing. So I print my own parts and stuff that I need. I'm actually
I did not know that.
Yes, I actually have a print going right now for this guy, because if you look through the frame, you see how it's all open here.
Yeah.
Let me get you this side of it. It's all open right in here. And it's because I want an F4 flight controller and a PDB built in, so it's not no stack in there to take no space up. So now I'm printing a thing that I will take the top plate off and slide down on this, and it fills all that in. So yeah, and I just dialed it in just right before I got on live. I just dialed it in because it's been so far out of whack, and I couldn't get it to print. It was printing, banging on the plate and everything. So now I got it locked in. It's 3% looking good. So.
Excellent.
Diamond, your channel?
Hi guys. As you all know, my channel is under my name, Crystal Justice, but it goes by Crystal's Crazy Corner.
Sorry about that.
It normally does. I do a live stream on Wednesdays called Wacky Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know that's kind of late for everybody, but if you watch my live stream at times, it's just the place just to hang out. The guys get to have fun picking on Chris and I. We pick right back with them. You just sit back and laugh. I also do a daily vlog now, so every day there is content on my channel. You'll see I'm coming back into flying drones. So I just did my first FPV flight, about a week ago?
Yes.
So it's dusting off the fingers, and you see a woman starting to progress into drones. Because as you see, life with a drone addict, that's how Crystal's Crazy Corner came to be. Most of the time I was back here in the corner for the Drone Network, and that's how my channel started. Everybody's like, you need to do your own stuff.
Homie Paul, welcome.
So my channel's not just about drones. It kind of incorporates life and everything. So that's how I came to be, was sitting back in the corner moderating for the Drone Network on Friday nights.
Yep.
So Crystal, you've just done your first FPV flight, you said. How did you find that?
It's totally different. I flew probably about 2 years ago for a couple months, was involved in a very nasty accident and took a long time to heal. So there was no flight for me. I've just recently gotten back into it. I was always into the toy grades, so progressing into a GPS bird or altitude hold bird, it's a whole different world for me now. Let alone
much
FPV.
easier.
FPV it takes it to a whole different level.
Yeah.
Chris always tried to tell me, and he would take me for a flight. He had 2 sets of goggles, so as he FPV'd, he would take me for a flight, but it just didn't do it. Because I wasn't in control, and that's what he told me. He said, once you have the sticks in your hand and you're FPVing, he said, it's a whole different world. And it is. And I really enjoy it. I have not flown with goggles yet, but I'm getting there.
She did the Hups, and it's the 502 S with the monitor. Yeah, so she's like this in the screen, and she kept wanting to go. I said, no, you don't look at the bird. You don't look at the bird screen.
Line of sight, so this is a totally different ballgame for me.
Yeah, line of sight is great. I personally prefer line of sight. If honestly, I would always prefer line of sight. Just because I'm aware of everything going on. As soon as I put goggles on, I'm not aware of anything. I drown everything out, and I'm just all in the flight. I do like Roadkill. Hey folks, how's it going? I'm not ignoring you, sorry. Once I got the goggles on, that's it. Anybody can come up behind me and whack me over the back of the head. I wouldn't know. Honestly, I wouldn't know. I've actually started putting a GoPro and recording behind me as I fly, just to be on the safe side more than anything else. Or at least I've got something on film if something was to happen.
Right.
Exactly.
But I think FPV for myself is a lot more fun. No, sorry, line of sight is I prefer line of sight. FPV is a lot more fun for me. I'm going to say it that way. That's my opinion. Right. So do you think then, Crystal, you're going to progress into actually having goggles and then go in flat out with a lot more racing drones and then starting some acro? Is that where you want to progress to?
I'm not so sure about the acro level. I do see myself progressing to the goggles. It was funny because right after I did my first FPV flight, I went to work and I'm sitting there and I texted Chris and I'm like, I texted him a set of goggles and I'm like, I want these. And he comes back and he's like, okay. And I texted him back and I'm like, what? That's it? Okay. And he's like, no. He said, if that's what you want, he said, just make sure that the goggles are what you want, because there's so many different styles. But the good thing and the extra benefit that I have now is Chris has 2 different types of goggles here, as well as QDL Flight has a totally different style goggles. So I will actually get to try out, when I'm at that stage, I'll get to try out the different styles and different types of goggles to know exactly what I'm going to want.
Versus where we were at, we had to purchase them and then
I have the advantage.
Nope, don't like these ones.
Absolutely. I think I've got those 6 pairs on the wall that I don't wear, just for that exact reason. Oh, there they are. These are great. Put them on. No, I hate them.
Exactly. And I mean, come on now. When Chris is now getting into building drones and tuning drones, as you guys know, ESCs cost, motors cost, frames cost. Well, we have the advantage of that one because Chris can build the frame. But the motors are still going to cost. The ESCs are still going to cost. The flight controllers are still going to cost.
Not good, not good, not good.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Can't stop it quick enough.
Life with 3D printing.
Yes. This extruder. Come on. Stop print. Thank you. I have a problem with my my cooling ring falling off on me.
How is it cooled? Is it fan cooled or is it liquid cooled?
It's fan cooled.
Fan. And
you can get small conversion kits to turn them into liquid cooled as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it's just so I printed it out of PLA, and then just after a while the heat starts to warp it, so it gets, I probably only get so many prints, and then so I have ABS, so I need to go and spool that up and get that on there and print one with this, and it'll be perfect. But I can give you a shot of what the printer is.
Nice.
And so now that piece just fell off of right here.
Yeah.
And it goes down around the extruder and stops it, and you know, cools it as it prints. But this was the frame that I was just printing. And you can see where it tore the tape up right there, where it just slammed the plate.
Yeah.
Nothing that's not fixable. That's the thing.
It's the thing with 3D printing. It's all trial and error because you're printing off of someone else's file, so you're not going in creating it yourself. But that right there was totally the printer. That's just the ring, like I said, wore out a little bit. Let me just reset this real quick. Shut my.
Yeah, sure thing. Hey, folks in the chat, how's it going? Hey, Southpaw. Hey, Love My Drones. Hey, the Drone Network.
Okay, sorry about that.
A bird in the hand. How's it all going, folks? Have you been out flying today? Yeah, I had no idea you printed your own stuff. That's awesome. You should print Crystal a pair of goggles, man. That's what you should do.
That would, you could probably, honestly, the plate's big enough, you could probably print like the Fat Shark things. I never even looked like that up, but I bet you could, yeah. And then put your own little screens in them.
Have a little screen at the front, powered by a Raspberry Pi off the top. You'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Raspberry
Pi, for sure.
Please don't give him any more ideas. He has enough. I don't
Ray
know really
Smith,
when
welcome.
he sleeps. At times, I get up and I'm like, did you ever even come to bed at all? And he's like, well, yeah, I quit tinkering and building at like 3:30 in the morning, and I have to get up at 6. So he literally 2 hours worth of sleep. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, well, I'm working on this and that and this and that. And I'm like, I give up.
And now where that fell off and hit that plate, everything's out of whack now. So I got to go back and fine tune each of the Z-axis, the Y-axis, and the X-axis, and you got to line all three to be on point. But that's what you go through printing.
3D printing is great, but it's still in its infancy, and it's going to be a very long time until they manage to calibrate themselves and sort themselves out. I had my eye on a rig for a little while, and then I thought, no, you know what, I'm going to give them a few more years yet.
Yeah.
Just in case, because it's a lot of money to spend, but they are great things. But I would just print. I'd print crap. I really would. I would just print a load and load of useless stuff.
Well, no, you start out doing that.
You start out doing that, and then you
start out doing that. You start out finding everything and anything in the world to print, and then it's like you finally relax some, and it's like, wait a minute, I don't have to do all of this because it's mine. It's not like I have to go somewhere and print it. This is mine. I can print that whenever I want, whenever I need.
Right.
So that's when you start fine tuning and actually taking it in a certain direction.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, how many frames have you actually printed then flown then?
I've printed this one here. Get it down off the wall. This is a Hubsan X4. Oh, yeah. It's a clone drone, but that's what it's meant to print. That's what the print was, the Hubsan X4. So I went ahead and printed that, and it flies great. It's just a clone drone of it. Doesn't have the distance, so you got to keep it near you. So, but a micro, you know, you understand that, keep it near you anyway. But so I did this one, and then I printed this. Now this was a if you know the Sky Viper hover racer one.
Yeah.
I took it out of the hover racer, you know how, because it wants to spin all around on you. So I took it out of that, and I 3D printed a Punisher frame.
Oh yes. Absolutely, that's amazing.
And not only has he printed and done the frames himself, numerous other people have received his frames and did their own builds. His frames are more or less international now. There are frames in the UK, there are frames in Maryland, there are frames in Canada.
Little Whoop frames.
Amazing. Fair play to you.
And when you dial them in and get it going, and I print one called the Peon 230, which is a really nice frame. 230 millimeter racer frame. Think of how your QAV, think of the QAV 220s and all. So it's like that, but the 230, and it's a real nice frame. Like, it's sturdy. You wouldn't think that hitting the ground and stuff like that, it flexes. Like, I mean, it's unbelievable the way this thing can move. We just heard that crack through there, but you'll have ones that do that, and that's just a matter. So it's like if you break it, you print another one. It take you about roughly about a half hour to print this little guy here, and no problem, just run right with it. But you can get TPU, which is like flexible for like your camera mount. You could probably print something like this in TPU, is setting it up, you know, different settings and stuff where it isn't real flimsy. But yeah, it's sturdy, hitting the ground and all. Like, the PLA is really good. I mean, I love it. I love having that aspect of print stuff.
Absolutely. It's just total freedom, isn't it? I mean, if you break something, chances are you could always repair it by just reprinting it.
Right.
Okay. So do you the plastic itself, do you have it by spool, or is it just by thread, or is it by little chunks?
No, it actually comes on a spool. Think of how wire would come.
Yeah.
So it's a spool like this, and it comes shrink wrapped, completely wrapped, and it's just like this when it's out of the wrapper. So it's just, you know, plastic. Think of wire and then plastic. That's basically what it is. But yeah, and it cost you roughly. Actually, I got this from Dronography. He goes to a store where things don't sell. He picked this up for $5.
Wow, really? All that?
Yes, and it is roughly $25 to $30 a roll.
And you'll get quite a bit.
But you will get you will get lots and lots of prints out of one roll.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yep.
Wow. And fantastic.
Not only printing frames, but say you get a new FPV camera and it doesn't quite fit how you want it to.
Yeah.
You print a mount and mount the FPV camera on your drone how you want it.
Right. Like this.
You're not just stuck with standard now.
Like, I was hot gluing my AIO cameras to them. Now I print the mount there.
That looks so much more professional, doesn't it? It looks so much more sturdy as well. Than just a little bit of glue, or like I do, a little bit of Velcro.
Right. I'll be glad to print you some and send them to you.
Oh man, do you know what? That would be fantastic. Absolutely
No problem.
fantastic. But so, how long have you actually been on YouTube for now, then, Chris?
I have been on YouTube since 2010. Hit and miss putting videos out to like the last probably 5 years. I started putting more and more on, and then really started hammering it. I'd say the last 2 years with the drones and stuff like that. I used to be big into the gun aspect, collecting the guns and showing me going to the shooting range and stuff, or reviewing a gun. Yeah, so now I switched over to drones, and then it has.
That's the thing. I mean, there's so many things now you can't put on YouTube.
Ryan, welcome. Right.
ATDR. I had a guy get in touch with me on Instagram a little while ago to say that his YouTube channel was pulled because he was into airsoft, and YouTube didn't like that at all. Even though they were replica guns and it was just airsoft, they pulled him.
Right. Yeah, they are, and that's what it's getting to, and that's what made me change channel. And it's kind of sucks because if you want to do what you want to do, you should be able to do that. And I mean, if you're out here shooting at people, I understand that's wrong, but I was just reviewing it, tell you about it, just more or less showing you, hey, this is how you release stress. Go to the gun range.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, why not? Isn't it? You know, millions of people do it.
Right.
And honestly, I coming from a country where the gun laws are totally restricted.
Right.
You can have your air rifles, your 2.2s, your 177s, things like that. But again, there should be a place where you can go and you can shoot, and of course, a range. Perfect.
Right.
Makes perfect sense. Did you ever have any issue with putting those videos up on YouTube at that time?
No, back then
back
YouTube.
then it was totally different.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I was actually researching YouTube the other day when YouTube started out. I think it was 2005.
Mm-hmm.
It was totally different.
5 or 7
And it was like 2013 when they actually opened YouTube up for everybody live streaming. I mean, things have totally changed. I think things were locked down when they allowed everybody to live stream. That's when YouTube started restricting channels.
And I think honestly, it's the point where the people are going to these schools and just shooting stuff, shooting people and just going nuts. I mean, I think that's honestly what really killed the gun world, and it's terrible because people do that and they kill people's rights. But I just changed channels, moved on. Not changed channels, but I kept the same name. I put all of that stuff. I still have it. I put it all in private, and it's still all there. And then I put everything drones out. Like, I think if you honestly go back, you might find a video I might have missed because there's so many videos, and I still want to go back and remove them and put them in private. But yeah, just due to that fact, because I don't want YouTube coming at me going, we don't want that content on here. Your channel's gone. So the drones are, hey. Most people look at drones like the guns, though, honestly.
Yeah, some do. Yeah, I'm lucky I don't get a lot of that over here. I pretty much most to just be allowed to fly.
Right.
And a lot of people just sort of keep their distance, and that's fine. But then again, I do fly at 5 o'clock in the morning when not a lot of people are out.
Right.
That's just because I don't want to have any grief, when I do fly as well.
Yeah.
The things we do to enjoy our hobby.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I think, again, it's whether you're talking about guns, whether you're talking about drones, whether you're talking about anything that you enjoy that necessarily, say, most of the public don't think the same way as you, you're always going to feel as if you're not allowed to do that. I mean, if I go out, I won't go out and fly at 8 o'clock in the morning. But if in the winter I have to fly, whenever the sun comes up, sometimes that is 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. And as soon as I go out, as soon as I see a dog walker, right, down comes the quad. I've got to wait. Up it goes again. And it just makes me feel as if I'm not allowed to be there, not allowed to be flying.
Right.
Or anything like that.
Our hobbies are censored.
Yeah.
And that's how when I go fly, like me and QDL, we went up to the Winter Place Park where I was the sliding board and stuff like that. Like, there was people at the sliding boards and all when we first got there, so we didn't even challenge that. But then we went over to the other side, and there's people that walk there all the time. So one was on goggles, one was observant, and we tell him, hey, get over in a soccer field. And that means because that no one walks in a soccer field, and they weren't doing no soccer that day. So when we say that, that means don't be down low, get to where, because we have people walking, and that's the good to respect the people, but not disrespect yourself at the same time.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just wish that as soon as I had it again this morning, and that there's always a guy that comes in roughly about 5 minutes after I get there. So I wait for him to go past with his dog, and he always stops and chats. Right then, John, what have you got today? Well, I've got this. Right. Oh, great. That looks good. That doesn't look so good. Right. Have a good day. And then he walks off.
That's cool.
And he goes down to the bottom of the field, turns on, comes back. Sorry, John, I'll be gone in a minute. Oh, no, don't worry, mate. You carry on. Take your time. And the good thing is I know he will go around and he will tell other people, oh, there is a guy that flies, but he'll wait for you, And I don't mind if people do tell other people, oh, look, it's fine, because I've had times where people have come into the field and they've turned around and I've gone, and they've gone, and I've thought, oh, hang on, is that because I'm flying, or did they have an emergency phone call or something? And it's a hobby. You shouldn't be thinking like that at all, should you? You should be thinking, I want to fly, so I'm going to fly.
Yeah,
I think what I need to do is buy a big house with a lot of land. That's what I need to do.
Yeah, and that's me. Like I get at first when I first started flying, I kind of was like real sketchy about that, and now I'm just like, you know what? It's a hobby. If they get upset, I will pull the drone down and leave. But if they kind of come up and want to assault you at the same time, that's not fair, Here you got your drone in the air for one, and they want to come over and bash you. That's why I have the cards. It just makes it simple. Pull out your card. Here you
Absolutely.
go. And that's basically what they want to know, because number one reason of them not wanting to be around you is because they don't know who you are or what you're doing with that drone. They don't know you're just a hobbyist out here just capturing the beautiful sunset, sunrise.
Yeah.
Hey, they think you're out here counting how many people are in this park, and it's, yourself, you really can't do it. I mean, I have the Inspire 1, and I tell you what, I would have to know you to know it was you.
Yeah.
Kind of. And I think that's the biggest thing. If you had a sign that said, hey, I'm just a hobbyist, I fly these things instead of playing golf, I think people would understand more. They'd, oh, okay, he's just having fun, no problem,
I absolutely, I do agree with you. I mean, look, my drones has just said it now. It's a different world now because of a few idiots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You see
right.
It's a few of the bad drone pilots or bad drone enthusiasts. Oh, I'm hovering over top of a swimming pool.
Right.
Seriously, now you think everybody's doing it. No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and I have, when I fly out in my field and I fly off to the left of me, there are swimming pools over there. I'll literally come, now in the wintertime, there's nothing over there. I could just soar right across them. But when it's warm out, I know there's probably going to be people in that pool. I will go out around over the woods and have the camera facing away from the pool. And the guy here in the park, he's like, yeah, there's a pool over here. There's a pool over here. And that tells me one thing when he tells me that. He's spying on people. Exactly. That's not what they're.
The thing is, I mean, we're all, the way I look at it, we're all on this planet for X amount of years. Common decency. You just don't do that. You know they're there, right? Fine, they're there. And exactly as you said, Chris, fly the other way, or don't fly there at all. Simple.
Exactly.
I mean, TDR said it. True Drone Reviews. Everyone thinks you're peeping in their bedroom window, and that's it. Exactly. Everyone does. Does your drone have a camera? Yes, it does. Oh well, then they're spying on me. Honestly, mate, couldn't care less about you.
Someone asked you, "Was you mapping the area, Neil?" You said yes. Exactly. Like I've had people ask me, what are you doing here? Are you saying, especially when they Inspire, you pull that out because they see that thing as being wow, And, hey, what are you doing here? I'm like, man, this is just, I put this on YouTube for people to know our area. Like, they go, okay, I'm gonna go visit Salisbury, Maryland today, and they type in Salisbury, Maryland on YouTube. I want it to be things there, and that's what I want to go out and do more and more and more and more and more and more. And as I started being a pilot, I was a little nervous about that, but now I have a lot of confidence under my belt that I can handle doing that now without any interruptions, any problems. I know the helicopter areas, the hospitals, all that good stuff now, so I know where and not to be and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's the only reason why I do it. Not no spying. Like,
oh, no. spine never comes into it at all. Doesn't it?
I go up. The way I look at it is, I go up in the air to get away from the people, not to count the people. You know, because you're free when you're up there. You're flying around.
I was trying not to say that. I thought I don't want people thinking I'm antisocial, but I 100% agree with you. You know, people down here know I want to be up there.
Yeah, exactly. Bye-bye.
Yeah, exactly. Cap Cook said it quite well as well. Someone asked him whether he was mapping an area, and he said yes.
Yeah,
that's brilliant. Now, if somebody asked me that, I would be the one out of the 1,000 people that would be like, "Oh no, mate, no, I'm not," because I wouldn't think about it at the time. That's brilliant.
Yes, and I love my drones. They see the FAA card, it works good. Yes, that's another thing. And I've had 2 people ask me throughout the whole time I've been flying in different spots I've flown, "Hey, is that thing registered?" I said, "Well, it's not, but I am." And you know, I just flip my transmitter around. They look at that number on the back of that transmitter. They're gone. They have no more questions. I don't know if they know about what they're asking about, or they just looking and seeing that long number and that intimidated them, and they just walk away. You know, I don't know what it is.
Honestly, 9 out of 10 times, if anybody ever comes up to you and says, "Oh, you know, are you registered?" they just want you to say no so that they can feel better about themselves.
Right.
That's it. As soon as, like you said, you flip the transmitter around, there's your number. It's literally like a middle finger to them. It literally is. You know, there's nothing more that they can do at that point. You registered, that's it. You know, and pretty much all of the ammunition that they did have has then gone. You know, there's nothing. They'll just move on and find somebody else to ask the same question to until they say, "Oh, actually, no, I'm not." You know, and then maybe, I don't know, start a fight with them or something.
Yeah, exactly. You know, exactly. And well, you can't fly here, because that's what the thing is. When they know you're not prepared, that's when they got you, because they're like, "Well, you can't fly here," and you're like, "Yes, I can." They're like, "Well, how do you know you're not registered?" They got you all the way at that point.
A perfect example of that is when I did the penguin swim in January.
Yes, she did the penguin swim in January. I had the Inspire 1. I am over the sand dunes. If something went wrong, my drone's going to fall down in the sand dunes and a bunch of weeds. This guy is down there with a Mavic Pro running over top of people's heads, going out across the water, coming back all across the crowd. Yeah. He looks up and he sees my bird. I'm roughly about 120 feet in the air. He looks up and sees my bird, and he starts running his mouth to people going, "Who is the guy running that? I'm going to go find him, make sure he's got all his permits and all," right?
And it's not like you could miss Chris. I mean,
you couldn't miss me.
In a case this big.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm standing away from everybody. I'm literally like one sand dune row over, so I'm away from everybody. That way I can see the bird from a distance, you know, line of sight, everything. And it was crazy. And this guy's out here whipping a Mavic Pro all over people's heads, and I'm like, "You do not have permission to fly over people's heads like that. I promise you, if you want to compare cards here." And he never approached me. He never could find me, is what other people were saying. Because he's like, "He's looking for you." I'm like, "Well, I'm standing out plain open in here, buddy. You see the shirt that I wear? It's bright green, you know? It's like, you can find me." And I don't know. I'm glad he didn't find me. Let's just say that, because I don't know. Honestly, I've never been approached by someone like that. And I kind of want to say I'm going to just like shove him away and just walk away from him, but you don't know how that situation will turn out until they're really, because you don't know how far they're willing to take it, you know? I more or less just want to tell him, "Hey, buddy, you were breaking the rules, and let's just end it at that," and, you know, put my bird down. I instantly, as soon as everyone said he's looking for me, I bring my bird straight to the ground, pack my stuff up just in case an incident, you know, and that's...
Rusty and I were too frozen to have done anything.
Yeah, but he wouldn't wanted to honestly do nothing, because I had him all day long. I had him on my GoPro, and I saw him literally rip that drone across at least 40 to 50 people. And I'm talking, when I mean above them, I mean how I messed with Crystal with the whoop above them. I mean, he was right on their head. So I mean, if you guys know how we have a GPS glitch or something, it'll drop out and drop back in, that thing would grab somebody's hair and rip the hair out of their head, you know?
Oh, of course it will. I mean, those things,
that's how some people are.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these may be small to people, but if you've got, say, something that weighs 0.5 kilogram, if that comes down at speed, that's going to do some damage.
Oh yeah,
and it is going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot.
Anthony,
Love My
welcome.
Drones said a very good thing. Common decency is less common nowadays. It is less common. It's common decency and what's the other one? Common sense. They're not very common.
Yeah,
You know,
you're right.
That's just it. They're not common at all. But I don't understand why people fly over the heads of people. There's an FPV group I'm a part of on Facebook, and this guy did fair play. He didn't have bad skills. He had very good skills, but he was flying over. It looked like an Indian temple, and he was flying up around it and then flipping around and this, that, and the other. And one of the guys in the comments just turned on to him and said, "Mate, why are you flying with all these people underneath you?"
Right.
And I don't think he actually gave an answer. I may be incorrect there. I certainly didn't see an answer. But that was, again, an unregistered pilot turning around and asking a question, you know, and that filled me with a bit of hope. That did fill me with a bit of hope, because it's always the unregistered people or the people that who aren't official pilots that get dragged into things. Oh, but he hasn't done his test. It doesn't matter. Yeah. I know how to fly, you know, and that's that.
Exactly.
It's absolutely silly.
That's crazy to be out in somewhere like that doing the acro and flipping through monuments or whatever, or hoops or whatever, with people below, because so much could go wrong. You could misjudge something because everything's so fast in them goggles when you're doing that. You could, oh man, you don't want. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't think they understand that. I believe where I'm at, if you take that race drone and smack somebody with it, I honestly believe you're going to jail. They're going to call the police, and I honestly believe you're going to get arrested just as if you would whoop their behind with a baseball bat, because that's what they're going to look at. They're not going to look at it being an accident. They're going to like, how did you single one person out, you know, in a field and you hit this person? That's how I know things go around here. And they're going to put that towards, I aim that drone at that person. And that's what I said. It's not worth it. It's just like,
you think of the speed.
Hit yourself to understand. Yeah, or the speed. A lot of people don't understand the speed.
Come down. I mean, what goes up must come down. Then God help me with some of Chris's drones. That's my biggest fear, because some of his drones are not cheap, and the parts are not cheap. And I mean, his skills have progressed so much, but when he got into the FPV and the acro, I cringed. I was like, I don't even believe you want to go that direction. And he's like, but it's fun. And I'm like, yeah, but it's expensive.
Well, it is. And that's...
But, I mean, he's got the skills to fix anything that he breaks. So that's I have that much on my side. Thank God.
And you see me in the field over here. I fly around myself, but that's because I do challenge myself like that, because I feel like, and it has made me a better pilot, because I know if I hit myself, it's going to hurt. And a couple toy grades when I started out, I've slapped myself with it, like the Bugs 3. Well, I say toy grade, but that's not so much a toy.
That's quite big.
Yeah, I've slapped myself with that. And, I mean, yeah, I've caught myself like in the field, come over and try to line of sight the bird past me, hit myself. Nothing crazy where I had to go get stitches and running across the field screaming and hollering, but the worst I've ever been struck by a drone, I guess I would say, is that EHang Ghost Drone 1.0.
Oh, yeah.
When that thing took off one day, it just started going, wow, all over the place, right? So I try to put my hand on top like this, because the propellers are underneath of it. So I try to put my hand and push down on it. Yeah. Well, the GPS compensated from me pushing down and turned it sideways. And when it did, it shot my finger down in there. Oh, man, that propeller slapped my finger. Yes, and it was probably... I bet you 8 degrees out that day. Oh, yeah. It made me, I almost cried.
Absolute agony.
Yeah, and mad and upset. I said if that was a grown man, I would stomp him like a fire.
Going back to what you said about that guy flying that Mavic, and then you brought the Inspire down and then put it away. I've been thinking, as we've been talking, I've been thinking about you doing that. And I honestly think that was probably out of the situation. Obviously, I don't know the situation. I don't know where you were flying. But I think that's probably one of the best things that you could have done, because I don't know what... I'm going to guess. I'm going to make a generalization. I don't like doing this, but I'm guessing that people up with you are the same as some of the people around by me. And that is that if he would have gotten too angry, he may have taken it out on the drone.
Yes, he could have.
Yes.
And let me clarify. This penguin swim is on New Year's Day.
Right.
And there are at least 500 people
I hear
that
you,
are
Anthony.
on this beach. Literally, and there was over,
Oh, yeah.
out of the 500 people that are there was probably a good 200 to 300 of us that actually got into the ocean on New Year's Day. So imagine all of these people running down a beach as others are standing there, as you're running down the beach and getting in the ocean. And as soon as you hit that water, you're instantaneously frozen, and people are turning around, and you've got literally crossing. People are going in, and people are coming out. So it's literally a madhouse. A lot of the people are alcohol imbibed.
Mm-hmm.
So at the same time, you have all of that going on. It's literally a humongous fundraising event for a hospital.
Yeah.
So all of the money raised that day, and it is an entire day-long event, all of the money raised that day goes to support this hospital for the year. So, I mean, it's monstrous. And it's all held by a hotel and everything. So you've got all sorts of.
And was he alcohol induced flying that Mavic? See, that's another question. I know for sure I was not, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah. And I thought my video, I went back and watched my video, and I could watch Crystal and my son jump right in that water, but I could not pick that Mavic up. I guess because of the many colored, well, the water for one above a Mavic's going to blend right in with kind of like the grayish blue water in the ocean, and then I think over the people. But I did have it on GoPro, and I did catch it at a distance. And back then I wasn't. Now I'm good with the power director, like I could zoom it in, really see. But it was definitely, my son knows drones, and he said it was a Mavic Pro. Like I saw this drone just whipping around people, and I'm like, what the heck is this guy doing? And that's when he told me, yeah, it was a Mavic Pro. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, there are multiple events that do this. You have a polar bear swim, you have a polar bear plunge, you have the penguin swim. And actually, this year when we did it, it was so cold that other locations actually canceled their event and postponed it. I mean, when we went over, you have to cross over a bay to get to the island that the ocean comes into.
And the bay was frozen.
The bay was literally frozen.
Wow.
And I looked at Chris and I'm like, I don't even believe I'm willing to volunteer to get into this ocean today.
And that was another worry of mine, is because of the Inspire and the propellers being this big, people coming out of that water, and that drone being close to them and just showering down that prop wash. And I was like, no one wants that. So that's why I stay. And that would be over them no way. I mean, now if Crystal and Rusty's walking down the beach, I would probably come up over them and fly past them and come back around, you know, but that's because they're okay with that. They know, or we know what we're doing. Not like, and now if people are on the beach, it's over with. I wouldn't even do it, you know, because of that reason, because I feel like I need their permission. And I feel like it's not, I feel like I say I need it, but then it's like, well, and I don't know. I feel like if I go fly somewhere and someone's sitting there eating lunch, I'll ask them, hey, I'm going to put this drone up. Is it okay with you? And they're like, hey, I don't own the area. I said, no, I just respect you being here and enjoying your lunch, and I don't want to ruin your time here. You know, you were here before I was, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Because then otherwise you've got people that may turn around and say, well, I didn't give you permission. Now you've got my form on video, you know,
right, exactly.
And then starts a very messy conversation. At that point, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't believe there were that many people, and still he was flying over that. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to pass judgment on a person I don't know, but at the same time, I might do. Yeah, I still think that was that's not good. And again, whether licensed or not, you know, just don't be doing stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you say, oh, you're flying down the street, your drone falls out the sky.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't even know the number on it, but let's say 60% of the time, you're probably not even going to hit no one, but you may hit a car.
Yeah,
but over someone's head at an event like that, you're talking.
Yeah, in that situation, if that drone came down,
it was hitting at least 5 people.
It was guaranteed.
At least 5 people. They were elbow to elbow.
It was bad.
You know, they had them fenced off. You know, they had they could only be in a certain area. So it's not like they could scatter out and run. They had them fenced off to where they had to run, and he was right above everybody.
It was literally, I think like 18 degrees outside and a wind chill of -10, and the water was only like 10 degrees. They had scuba dive teams ready for us out in the ocean just in case. It was that bad of conditions.
Now, the thing that was really scary about that situation, because I look at the whole circle when I look at things, the only reason why I put a drone up that day, like I said, the weather was cold and frigid. Only reason why I did, because I looked through the flyer and saw that they were having another flyer there, and he had, named his company and all, and I can't remember the name and all of it at this point. So my question is, was that your guy that's representing your company out there flying over people's head? So, and I wanted to do a big thing like Love My Drone said, call this idiot out, Chris. I wanted to do that. But then I thought about, well, if it's someone's company and they got a pilot that just don't care, it's not right to bash the company. But although you should have done your homework to make sure this guy would not cross those lines,
And surely for an event as big as this, I certainly think if positions are reversed, I often like to put myself in the shoes of the person flying or the shoes of the person, whatever. Right. And, try and think what I would do in that situation. Surely I'd have a banksman with me as well, just watching what I was doing, so that there was at least, if anything else happened, somebody else could either corroborate what I was saying and turn around and say, do you know what, actually, John did nothing wrong in this particular instance, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Exactly. I think certainly when you're talking about 500 people, that would be a minimum, I would imagine, that you would need at least, 2 people at least to see exactly where,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy. Absolutely.
And when I say flying around people, I don't mean he was cruising over top their head. I mean, he was like out flying around. I mean, he was snapping that thing. That thing was going up and all. I was waiting to see him flip and roll. I thought it was a race drone at first. He was literally being that reckless.
Yeah. God, that's crazy. Right then, folks, question for both of you. Where would you like to take your channels to?
I would like to take my channel to, I want to get my 107s. Well, or Crystal. We've been working on it like a team thing here, trying to figure things out. But I would like to do the 107s. That way I could actually get paid to, go out and you monitor like wires for electric companies and stuff like that. And that way, and then I could post that stuff on my channel and be legit. Well, if I montage, if I got like the 107, I just feel like that would keep my YouTube going, because then that's funds coming in, and really good funds from what I understand. You can make up to $500 a day. Now, I'm not sure how true that is, but I did talk to a power guy in my area that works for Delmarva Power, and he said they used to have helicopters come in, and that's the problem now with helicopters, and they always had that problem. When you see like these big yellow like things taped or strapped to the wires, that's so the wire don't just start going like this when he's down there with his prop bar. So he said that caused a lot of problems. It caused a lot of, like, I guess, things coming loose, that wire shaking. So now they get drone pilots to do it. They go in a residential area, they can fly and do twice, I think he said like twice as much work as that helicopter and not stir up as near as much controversy. And so, so I was asking him about the $500 a day part. He said he's not sure about that, but he can guarantee you it would be worth putting your drone in that area to do the wires.
$500 a day, that's a cost.
Oh, I'm telling you, I can't believe it neither, but I want to see it. And him telling me this, and he knew a lot about that. That piqued my interest more. But that's where I like to go and just keep doing my channel the way I'm doing it now. I'm getting more into everything now with the drones. I never thought I would be building them or going in and tuning them. That was like amazing. And 2 weeks ago, my head was foggy with all that, and I didn't know which direction it would go. But I stopped, slowed down, and took the right path, and now I'm here. So, yeah, I just want my channel to keep doing what I'm doing right here. And me and Captain Cook and Crystal keep doing the Drone Network. 20th show last night. I can't wait for 20 more shows. But if you think about it, we do the Drone Network pre-show. So we are 40 shows and because we did that every week consecutive just with the show. So that's where I want my channel to just keep going and going and going and going and growing.
Yeah.
And us being a family the way we do, and everybody help each other out, and yeah, that would be awesome.
That's great. I've not seen another. I'm sure they're out there, but I've not seen another family sort of oriented YouTube channels. You know, with yourself and with Crystal as well. That really is great, and I think that stands out as well. I think it really does stand out. It certainly stands out to me.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun to have her there to back me up, and it's not always as smooth. You know, everybody thinks, oh, he just get. It's not okay. It's not. It's not like let's say
Come on, any of you
your
guys
wife
who
that's
are
not
married,
into it, and she's like, no.
I'm married.
All right, Chris. Everybody tells Chris he is so lucky. No, Chris is not lucky. Believe me, I'm not gonna lie. When he got seriously bit by the drone bug and the addiction started, I was joking with people at work that I lived in drone hell.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Well, the package is on its way, but it's not here yet, or it got lost. I'm the one that has to deal with all that. I mean, being the backbone of one channel, and then running your own channel in a totally different direction.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, how are you doing that? And I'm like, well, this is what you don't understand. My channel is the melting pot that brings everybody together.
Me too, Anthony.
And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I have people who've never heard of the drone. And hearing my explanations and my vlogs and how I incorporate everything, I said they're showing up at the Drone Network and they're starting to learn. And now they're starting to look into getting their own drone.
Yeah.
And some of them have already got their own drone. So it's like I'm reaching out to different people who a drone channel doesn't even look at.
Yeah.
And I'm bringing new people to the family. So, and I mean, it's amazing the family we've built. It's amazing the people we have met. Because in our area, there was absolutely nobody who flew.
Yeah.
So as Chris's channel has progressed, and I was sitting back in the corner, and that's, I mean, it was never my intention to have a YouTube channel. Never. Everybody's like, listen, you need to just reach out and go ahead and start your own thing. And they kept telling me that every time I was in chat. I'm like, but, I mean, here I sit now with over 700 supporters, and my channel literally just came alive in January.
She's going to pass all of us.
That's amazing. Really?
Yes. No.
Good God.
My first video was posted in January, even though I was always in the background of Chris, so everybody knew me anyway. But my first video came out in January, and my channel blew up. And I thank it all to Chris and Neil. And I mean, that's where I want it to go. I want to keep expanding and bringing more people to the family, expanding the drone network. That's where I want my channel to go to. That's why I said I'm like the melting pot. I'm bringing all the new people in and then introducing them to the family.
And that's brilliant. Absolutely. I mean, it's really incredible. It's one thing that I have noticed when over, I would say, I think it's been a lot more in the past, say, 6 to 8 months. But as soon as I've jumped onto somebody's channel, I can always see the same people on the comments. As soon as I jump onto somebody else's channel, it's the same people in the comments. The support that you guys have is absolutely incredible. Absolutely amazing. And I think that is to do with the fact that everyone that I've certainly spoken to, whether it be on air or whether it be off air, whether it be via phone calls, text messages, whatever, seem like actual genuine people. And I find that astounding, considering that I can walk down the road and find 5 people that I can't stand. and yet I can talk to you guys who are sitting, you know, halfway across the world.
Right.
And, you know, it's mind-blowing. It really is.
And that's what I'm trying to tell me and Neil, we talk back and forth, and you know, we're like every day we talk.
Yeah.
And that's what the same thing there. Like we're tighter than my real brothers that live in Baltimore, and I'm the same way with you. Like I don't associate with a lot of people around here. I try to get people into what I do, and I help everybody. They come bang on my door and go, "Hey, my lawnmower's not running. Can you cut my grass?" Sure, no problem. But it's like, I don't know, people, like you said, some people you just can't get. I don't know. And on here, it's like everyone's just like, hey, it's like, why do we all have to be spread out so far? Why can't we just be one big community,
Yeah, and that's amazing. Wiki RC, know the feeling, JD. Yeah, it's incredible. It is, and it's something that has stood out. And I've gone onto other channels, not drone related, and things like this, and I've seen that there isn't that tight community there, or if it is, then maybe people are changing their YouTube handles or whatever. But
right.
it's certainly it's mind blowing, absolutely mind blowing that the support from everyone, every single video, bam, 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 every single video, bam, bam, bam. It is absolutely mind blowing. So
right.
with that in mind, if there are people that haven't watched any of my videos, any of your videos or whatever, don't know any of us, and if they're thinking, wow, do you know what, this seems like a great opportunity to just jump online, make a couple of videos, what would you say the top 5 things would be? What advice would you give? Top 5 of how to start a YouTube channel and where to go with it.
I would say, number 1, have something that records really nice video and footage, or clear, not grainy. Editing, you must know editing, especially if you're going to get into the droning, because your drones fly for 20 minutes here, so you have to cut your videos back. I know I'm terrible for saying this, but I think if you break videos down to roughly 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5, maybe no more than 5, I've seen more footage on videos that way. Because people don't have 10, 12 minutes, 20 minutes on one video. I get that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And be social, be friendly. If people comment back. They've taken their time to comment to you. Return that back, even if you thank you. Like I said, I fell back on some comments. I went down and hit the heart because I posted 4 videos in 1 week and did that to myself. But now I go back and comment on everything. Thank you. I'll probably say thank you. If I had 100 comments, I'll say thank you 100 times.
Yeah, you're the same as me.
Right. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
See, I disagree.
Okay.
I agree with make sure you have a decent camera. I do most of my stuff either off of the iPad or off of my phone because my channel is different. I personally do not have a clue how to edit. I do not have the time that I see Chris spend sitting on the computer taking clips, and I don't have the time to do that.
Takes time.
So yes, make sure if you're going to start a YouTube channel, make sure you have something decent to record with. Make sure you have the time it takes to dedicate to this. This is not a 5-10 minute adventure a day.
Yeah.
This is something that I've heard people describe it as a full-time job.
Yeah,
and
it turns into that very quickly.
Real quickly.
Be prepared to give more to people than you will ever get back.
Yeah.
You are putting yourself out there when you create a channel. So you're opening yourself up for judgment.
Yes,
you're opening yourself up for hatefulness. There are people out there that are not like you, and that will knock you off of your feet. So be prepared for that.
Yeah.
Think long and hard on where you want to take your channel to. Like I said, when I first started, I had no clue. That's how Crystal's Crazy Corner came about. I'm still stumbling and trying to figure out what I want my channel to be. That's where the daily vlogs have come into.
Exactly.
And since I have started that, today will be the 9th one. But I have seen, and the messages that I have received that aren't even in the comments, on how people are relating to the vlogs. So I think I'm finally finding a direction for my channel. But if I started out knowing what I wanted to do, it would have made life so much easier. And be prepared, because no matter what you do, YouTube channels cost. They're either costing you in product to make your videos. They're either costing you in time, and your time is extremely valuable. You think about how much time you dedicate to YouTube and how much time that's not with your family. So either way, I mean, YouTube cost. There is a cost to having a channel, and be prepared for that. I mean, that's why I say my channel is not all about drones. So I look at things differently. And I mean, you can ask Chris, you can ask Neil, you can ask Justin. They have seen different people's comments, and I'm like, stop, wait. They may not have meant it the way you thought. Yeah. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, YouTube is international. So like Google Translate or something could have really screwed up what they meant. Or they meant exactly what they said. But don't take everything to heart. You cannot. If you take everything to heart with YouTube, it's not going to be any fun. And that's what YouTube's supposed to be about.
Absolutely. I mean, a bird in the hand has just said, I even thank the trolls. I do as well. I mean, when I had my first dislike, I was devastated. It sounds so silly. I went back through and I thought, right, okay, what could it be? They don't like me. They don't like the fact that I was probably heavy breathing on a camera, as in a lot of my videos, because I was a lot larger man than I am now. When I was back then. I racked my brain. I couldn't figure out why. I was like, I can't understand it. And then a mate of mine who's been YouTubing a lot longer just turned around and said, you're just not for everyone. Yeah. And it's easy as that. And since then, I've thought, that's it. That's fine. Do you know what? And it's absolutely fine. I'm not for everyone. Maybe somebody doesn't like my face, my beard, my accent, my eyes, whatever it is, the drones, the way that I film. It's totally fine. It's absolutely fine.
I had a similar experience, and being new to YouTube like I am.
Yeah.
It hit me so hard because it was a promo video for the Drone Network.
Yeah.
And when I woke up and when I went and checked it that morning, I had 10 dislikes in less than 12 hours. And I texted Neil because I knew Chris was asleep. I texted Neil and I'm like, I'm sorry, I did not sign up for this. I'm like, I don't know what I did wrong. And the entire day was shot. And then I'm like, wait a minute, you know what? Because analytics takes time. So it's not even like you know who's doing this to you.
Yeah.
And it's like, they watched it. They gave me my time. They still had to watch it to dislike it because it's one dislike per person. I don't care if you've got one account. You had to log back in. You had to take your time and give it. Hey, thank you. I'm glad I'm that popular.
Yeah, exactly.
That first gut punch is unreal that you'll get from YouTube.
Yeah.
Like I did the Bugs 3 Mini. When the Bugs 3 Mini came out, it had that proprietary battery.
Yeah.
I was sitting here one day and I flown and I was like, you know what? I got to wait for that to charge. I have at least 3 other batteries. I know I could fly with that. So let me go ahead and look at it. So I popped the hood on it. And, okay, wow. You know, plug in the proprietary battery, test some pins out, and figure, well, I could solder a JST connector on this. And now I could use my Tarantula X6 batteries in it. Yeah. I do that. And the guy comes on my channel. He's like, so you just think you're the brilliant one. You don't think other people that bought this would have figured this out? I said, no doubt everyone that flies drones are intelligent in my eyes. I said, but I'm trying to make it easier for people. Yeah. So you might want to buy it and go, well, it's got a proprietary battery. I'm not going to get that. Well, wait a minute. This guy did a battery mod. It's like, I don't do it to like try to win the race with MJX. I could care less about the maker. It's me and what I like to do. I don't like to sit around wait for one pack to charge when I could go out and fly it 3 or 4 times when I take it outside, you know? Stuff Absolutely. Like that. Like you're trying to help and people just bash you. But then again, it's not, I think a lot to do with YouTube is jealousy. And it's got to be that.
I think that's a big one. I mean, I think everyone who watches, even if you've just watched one of my videos, I think you know that I'm a fan of the Risey Tello. I like it for what it is.
Right.
And I did a distance test. And I had an email off a guy. And it was probably the best troll I ever had. because he must have spent about 20 minutes writing that email to tell me everything I did wrong in it. Yeah. At the start of the video, I said, right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the Wi-Fi on my smartphone, and we're going to have a control. So I'm going to fly this with just my smartphone. And I did this twice, and I roughly, just by eyesight and by what it said on the transmitter, because I am on my own. I don't have a tape measure that I can just quickly run up and, oh, there we are. This is, 20 foot. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, click, 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 click. 30 foot, hey, and he must have spent, it must have been about 20 minutes on this email. And I wrote back to him and I said, thank you for such a constructive troll. I said, because it was down to I flew it incorrectly. I should have had the repeater up high. And I'm like, yeah, all these are valid points. But when you boil it down and when you distill it down, I'm a man standing in a field. Where am I going to find a shelf? Well, I can't. What am I going to do? Hold it up in one hand, on smartphone in the other hand, and go, right, okay, yeah, let's fly this. I would get ripped apart. Do you know what I mean? And it's just I think I agree with the bird in the hand. I do, and I thank everyone. I thank my trolls as well, because they are the people that will share as well and say this guy's a total idiot, and then the video will just go whoop. So yeah, trolls I think are important, but yeah, you are going to get battered emotionally. Yes. I did. I honestly turned down to Hannah, my wife, and I said, that's it, I'm giving it up. Yep. And she, and it sounds so stupid. You have like a lengthy, I think the chat I had, because I got bipolar disorder as well. So I was just like, yeah, do you know what? I don't want to do this. I want to give it up. I want to, yeah. And she was just like, why? Just keep on. And she's always been a rock as Hannah. And
same here.
I'm glad. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did keep it up, because even though I look at the troll comments and I just ingest it in a totally different way, and I'm thankful that they're there. I really am. Just because, if nothing else, they're helping.
Yeah, and that's what it is. You gotta love them, like you said. You gotta have the good or the bad with the good in that situation, because you're going to have the guy come in not like what you did, not like your setup, not like you, not like the shirt you're wearing that day. He might be offended by what's on your shirt. It's like, look, you just had a bad day. Are you typically an a-hole all the time?
Honestly, though, that's something you can learn from YouTube.
Thank you, Kim.
You
Push
will
that like
see
button.
People from all walks of life.
Thanks, Kim.
And the fact that they all are so different, and it's not that everybody thinks like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's if you think that everybody's going to agree with you and like everything, it's not going to happen. And when it happens, it's like, whoa, hold on, what did I do?
Yeah.
You can't take this stuff personally anymore. I mean, you have to have a thick skin when you put yourself out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You totally have to, because it's not as if it's going into just your country or just your city or your state. It's worldwide. Exactly as you said, Crystal. Right. It's going out there. Everyone that's got an internet connection, which, let's be honest, having an internet connection nowadays for, I would say, I'm probably going to be wrong with this, 3/4 of the world, it's like having an electric bill. It's like having a utility. So therefore, those 3/4 of the whole world are going to see what you're doing. And with the best will in the world, even the closest friends that I have, when they say something, sometimes I think, oh, shut up. Do you know? So it's very easy to criticize, especially somebody, A, you don't know, B, you have no affiliation to, and C, some of the best comments on YouTube are trollish comments. Let's be honest. I don't mean the nasty ones. I don't mean the nasty bullying. I just mean the quite flippant, sarcastic, form. I just want to clear that up. It does. It ripped me apart for a long time. But I think you're right, Crystal. You just got to get used to it. Got to get used to it. It's just one of those things. You're never going to know what you did wrong. Nobody's ever going to turn around and say, do you know what, JD, use the other camera, mate. Or do you know what, Crystal, hold your phone a little bit further from your face. Do you know what I mean? Nobody's ever going to give you that. They're just going to thumb down.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people out there, too. They'll, like, you'll see them like be watching videos and they're like, oh, I hate this guy's voice. Then don't watch the video. Then okay, I have done this. I'll go to watch a video that I'm trying to learn something about that I really need to learn about because I'm out of my wits of it. I'm literally needing some help here, right? And I'll go to watch the video. I just feel like if I type it in English, I just feel like you should give me an English video. They'll give me in a video, and the guy's on there, and he's speaking Arabic or something, and I'm just like, you know, I don't go, hey guy, why don't you speak English? I just turn around, I'll leave his video, and I'll go back to another video, and I still like the video, and I don't even understand
why. There are people who will leave that comment.
Yeah, and there's people that would go, hey, look, I typed this in English. Why isn't it in English? And then they're just going to tell you, well, you can hit that translation button if you would like, but you know. And then I think translation, when you go, okay, let's translate, it's still the Google Translator is tearing things up. You don't understand the things that guy. You're still like, so
absolutely.
Just look at a video that you like. Like if the guy's voice is upsetting, don't watch the video. If his shirt's too bright, don't watch the video. I mean, that's what it boils down to being. And I feel like it boils down to being, like I said, jealousy. They're jealous because they don't have the stuff that you have in your hands right at that moment, or they really want that product and it's out of reach for them. It's like, hey, well, come here, let me give you a hug. I might even give it to you. You don't know. Say something nice about it. Don't come bash me about it. You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, David Martin, that was a good review. I thought it was funny. You said hello, Mr. Tello. Thank you, David. Yeah, I like to put a bit of comedy. It may not be comedy to anybody else, but I listen to it back and I just smile. I've got a very dry sense of humor, so I like doing things like that. Love my drones. I've gotten thumbs down. Freaked me out too, mainly because it was the last video and that I would ever expect that from. Exactly. Some of the videos you plow, there are videos that you plow so much time and so much effort into, you think, you know what, that's never going to get any thumbs down. You wake up in the morning, you have a little look, you go in through your comments, 15 thumbs down. It's like, what? And some of the ones you know are bad videos, but you either SD card failed, there's nothing you can do about it, the weather's bad, or whatever. I've got some of the most impressive likes, on your channel.
Exactly.
It makes no sense. And Kim got his thumbs down from his 2.2 video. Why would you thumb that down? I don't understand. I don't know.
I did a short video of the build of the 210 I was building. I just did a short video. Hey guys, showed a couple of little steps. It wasn't online no more than, I bet you, 3 hours, 2 dislikes. I'm like, okay, you can't explain that. Like, dude, they don't like what I used in the drone, or they don't like the drone. They don't like, because I'm understanding how to build a drone. You can't understand. Like, you sit there and try to calculate what they didn't like. It's just as easy to put a comment, hey, dislikes. What did you not like here? Can you explain yourself? And they never will. They never will, because they know, for one, a dislike is a coward. Because put your name down. If you dislike my videos, I challenge you to dislike my video and then tell me why you dislike my video. And I'll probably give you the drone or something. I'll make something happy. Yeah, right.
Don't just turn around and say, actually give something constructive that either you can learn from, and next time that's going to be in the back of your mind. Oh, hang on, last time I got this, therefore I'll try it a different way.
Yes.
Or whatever. It has to be constructive. A lot of people, I think, now just jump on and just say whatever the hell they want to say because they think that's acceptable.
And a lot of it, I think, is people that maybe they're in a tight household that they can't speak out to nobody, so they pick up that phone. They're like, "Oh yeah, check this out." Pop, 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 pop. Then they get to be free online. Tell people what they think of them, bash them, and they really don't mean nothing by the video they're watching. It's just basically they can't do that in their environment. So if they do that out of their own mouth, they might get bashed on or beat up or something. So they become keyboard warriors.
Absolutely. I mean, Love My Drones just said again, I think someone should be able to leave thumbs down, if they want to. Absolutely. Unless they comment first. Jealous.
Right.
I think some of it, I think some of it is, again, Chris, what you said again, what Love My Drones has said or whatever, but as well, I think some of it is jealousy as well, I think. But I think the only way you're going to get out of that jealous streak is just to open up your own channel and just to use the advice that you guys have given.
Hey, and a little advice for live streaming that will help you out too, because if they bashed you hard on your comments and it got you thinking to do different things on your live stream, just like now, your foot came up, you went over the curb, you put your foot right back down on what just happened, and you walked on. That's what you do. You ignore them, and they don't want nothing to do with that, because when you ignore them, they're being defeated. They want to come in there and they want to rear up the lobby and get your attention. And when you just boom, 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 bang, done, over with, bye bye.
Yeah, that's a lesson that's kind of hard to learn.
It is hard
the first time, because
it is hard.
I'm not gonna lie. My first troll that came in, of course, I live stream right from this chair. So all this is behind me. And the first troll whoever came to my lobby, which is a Wacky Wednesday, just hang out. You know, if you shoot the crap, you just have fun with the family. It's not all about drones. And they come in, oh, you've got cheap drones. Oh, your drones are fake. Your drones don't even fly. And I mean, my moderators love them all. They were smacking the crap out of it, but I was still seeing the comments. And I had a bad day. Anyway, the entire day had been a bad day. So I took everything to heart. And they won. And it was like, I will never give them that power ever again. You will never take my live stream and control it. It will never happen. You won this battle, but you will never win the war.
I just had
and that's how you have to look at it.
I just had one, I think it was not this week, the past week. He come into my Monday night and he's like, oh, they're all old drones. I'm like, yes, sir, they're old drones, no problem. And he just kept going on. He's like, they're antique drones. I think I said, yeah, actually, these are all from the 1930s. What I do is I go out and I wind all 4 propellers and throw it in the air. I said, I'm waiting for a hard gust of wind so I can guide it around. You know, sometimes you just have to have fun with them too. When they're not, you know, if they're not in there like cursing you out and all that, and they're being just stupid with little stupid comments like that, I'll get stupid back with them. Like, yeah, they're old. Yeah, I got to wind these propellers up. You know.
They're all held in by elastic band and small lollipop sticks.
Yeah,
you know, as you wind it up. I think. I
mean, it all depends on your mood when you go live, and you have to stop and think. You're not just talking to somebody who knows you.
Right.
There are people who never chat because your chat comments never equal out to your number watching.
No,
never. So you always have those people who are laid back, letting your stream play, lurking, just to see what you're going to say. You've got the good as well as the bad. So, I mean, you have to remember that whatever's going on in your life, whatever is going on that day is being reflected one way or another. It may come through loud and clear, or it may come through very remotely.
David Martin Graff has a question. Let you answer this, JD, because you're the GoPro 5 guy. He said, what is a GoPro 5, a GoPro Session 5 considered good or not so good?
Ooh, good question. Sorry I missed, David. Thank you, Chris, for picking that up.
No problem.
I've got a load of different action cams. There's the older 4. There's the 5. I used the 5 today, the first time I've used it. And I've decided that, as I said on Monday, that all the content of the flight videos are now going to be done in 4K. So that means I get to leave my unboxing camera on top of here because it's, well, sorry, little Sony, I've ruined it. I used this today for the first time. It's very good. If it's on your head, and if you look a little bit like a Doctor Who Dalek, then it picks your voice up without any problem at all. I had it in front of me, and I had it on a tripod as I was displaying the quad and talking for a couple of seconds beforehand, or let's face it, minutes, it is me. And I find it didn't pick up my voice very well. I had to audio enhance it in the edit. So it's good from a video point of view. Good God, it's amazing. It really, really is good. Well, you'll see next week, all the flight videos are done in 4K. And I'm very happy with it. I mean, now, if I turn it on, I've got I went out this morning. I did 2.5 hours of flying different quads, and I'm not even a quarter of the way through the battery. I still have 3/4 battery still in there. Yeah, very, very happy. £150. Very, very happy. Very, very happy. Yeah, I definitely consider that a win. Absolutely, 100%.
Awesome.
Because I didn't want to go for the new GoPro, the 2018, the wide one with the touchscreen or the GPS, because, well, it's on my head. I'm not going to use any of that. It's just a waste of money.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. Yeah, touch.
I like how you did put that too. I watched the GoPro session one, and I like how you said one button to start record, one button to stop record, right on your head, right on top. Boop, stop, and then you know it stopped. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Because I've got a load of different cameras here. I've got my DB Power. I've got my Run cams. I mean, there's just so many of them. They've got their own box, and you know, small cameras, broken cameras, Mobius, and Mate Cam 4K, and they're all got one thing lacking that the GoPro Session has, and it's just that button. That one button touch. I don't need to look at it. I hear, as you say, Chris, I hear the beeps.
Right.
I know it's recording. I've got faith in that little device that it's going to record.
Exactly.
So yeah, absolutely. I think it is 100% worth it. Yeah, absolutely, I do. Well, from a video point of view, and from a microphone point of view, you judge next week if you watch any. But I certainly do think it is most definitely worth it. Absolutely, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't think I would go to any other action cam. I've been looking at Sony's because the idea I had is I wanted to put 3 or 4 tripods up around the field and have them all up at an angle. You can use the Sony app to control all 4 cameras. And I wanted to fly a drone around the cameras in a figure of 8 around all the tripods and record at different angles and have them all motion triggered. And then cool. I actually came back down to earth and thought, well, that would be like 3.5 grand's worth of kit in a field at 5 o'clock in the morning when there's nobody else but me. I'm just asking to be robbed.
Purchase a gun with that kit also. Okay, a taser.
That's it. But yeah, you know, it's just yeah. So to go back to the question, because I waffle, I do waffle. Yeah, it's worth it.
Awesome.
Well, I mean, I think that's the thing. A lot of people look at GoPro and they look at the cost. And yes, GoPro is expensive. I mean, when Chris got his unique, and then I found out, wait a minute, he doesn't even come with a camera. What the heck is the point? You know, he's got a camera board without the camera.
Yeah.
It's missing something major. So I had literally ordered the unique, and I think it was, 2 or 3 days later, the GoPro showed up here because I bought it more or less at the same time. And I just told him, and I'm like, he's like, why did you do that?
There's so many other ones out there.
He's like, you're insane. Why did you spend that amount of money on a camera? You could have got 10 other ones cheaper. And I'm like, I wanted the best quality that's going to last you. And I mean, there have been a gazillion other GoPros that have come out now since he got his. But the quality is still there. So it's almost like you're paying for that quality, for that one-touch push button. It's so much easier.
It was worth it because when I did get the GoPro, like instantly my channel, people were like, wow, your footage is amazing now. And I'm like, they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, a GoPro on 1080, 60 frames per second.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's it. And that's the thing. I mean, I've bought a lot of kit recently for my other channel as well. A lot of audio, a lot of mics, a lot of audio receivers and things like that. And the price is extortionate on all of this kit. It really is, because they know you're going to pay for it, you know. Exactly. But then as soon as you see the quality or you hear the audio and you hear how crisp it is, you think, you know what? Money well spent. At least I do, absolutely, every single time on GoPro.
I have never looked back. Now, Chris had some problems when he was first editing with the GoPro, but he learned. I mean, he was using, what was it, GoPro Studio or something?
Yes, GoPro.
That's bad anyway.
Right. So I mean, he was learning through that platform, but it was not that the GoPro was bad. You know, it was a learning curve and a learning process.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I understand. I mean, as most of you know, I am the one that works full time. So for me to come up with money for a GoPro, yeah, it was a hoss.
Yeah.
But here's the way I look at it. You know, even if you save and you save and you save and you save and you save, you may not get the newest GoPro out. Now you could go back and get one of the older GoPros cheaper.
Oh yeah, they've come down.
What is yours? A GoPro Hero 3?
Mine is the GoPro Hero 3 Silver Plus Edition, and now you can pick up a GoPro Hero 4 for like right around $100 off eBay. And I thought about selling my 3 to get a 4 because my Solo works. All the functions work off on 4, and they all don't work off the 3. But I'm like, there's no way I would just buy the 4 and keep the 3 also because that thing films amazing.
Exactly.
Footage.
So you can go back to the older GoPros, save the money. You're still getting the quality of the
footage is still
GoPro,
there.
And you know it's just not the newest thing out, but it is still the quality. So
yeah.
I mean, there's another option for a YouTube channel.
If you can get over the fisheye.
Yeah, there is that. But yeah, I think, you know, I mean, when I was vlogging on my other channel, I still do, but not as frequently. I decided to buy this my Sony camera, just because of that screen, and it really is beneficial. But again, as you say, Crystal, it took me, I think it was about 5 months to save up for it, and then I had trolls on that because as soon as I said this is the new camera I've got, guys, one of the guys turned around, just random comment, and said, "Oh, now he's flashing his cash." I'm like, mate. It took me 4 to 5 months to save up for it.
Yep.
Right, exactly.
That's the thing. I mean, everybody, and God help, with Chris's channel, you know, everybody looks and they're like, "Oh, you're rich," and I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
If I was rich,
I wish.
If I was rich, I would be already like UAV features. I'd have race drones all along that bottom part of that wall there hanging up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, absolutely. It's taking time to get what he has got. And it's just the fact that they ended up on the wall because they were everywhere.
Yeah. Where are you going to put them? It's the same problem I had. Where are you going to put them? There's nowhere. What are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. Put them on a wall. Put them on a rack. That's a bookcase.
Yep.
And they don't hold many.
Case now.
When you first put the bookshelf up there, you're like, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shelves. Yes. And then you put like just a little bit of your drones, you're like, I'm gonna need about 10 more of them.
What am I gonna do with the rest of them?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hello, everyone in the chat. I'm not ignoring you. Hello, I've seen Mark. Mark Pugh, you're on. Old Droner. Hello, folks. Roadkill, how's it going? Wiki RC, hello. I'm not ignoring you. Sorry.
I'd be happier with a GoPro Hero 5. Yeah, I know that. 5s are way out of my reach. The 4s are finally starting to come down where I can afford one of them things.
Yeah.
Like I said, after that 3, no, $300. I see a drone versus the camera.
Yeah, that's it, and that's the thing. I mean, if you've got a camera, which I probably shouldn't be saying this, but if you've got a camera that you like, that you know inside and out, and has been loyal to you for the past, you know, I don't know, 2 years or whatever, then you're more inclined, or certainly I am more inclined to sort of, there you go. Yes. I'm more inclined to just stick with the old camera and just keep on buying drones. If it wasn't for the fact I wanted to go 4K, I wouldn't have done it, and I would have kept my 2-year-old session.
Right.
But you know, I just don't want it to fail. That's my worst nightmare. Being out in the field, you start recording, and then halfway through you stop recording, and you're thinking, "Oh, hang on, that's what's going on." The camera's failed.
Yes.
My worst fear. I've had SD cards fail. That's bad enough.
Yeah, really bad.
Fail.
Yeah. Oh,
go back and
you know,
turn on the GoPro, erase the footage.
What? Oh,
many a time.
That's not a good day. Not a good day.
And I'll tell you what I figured out with the GoPros. If you take the battery out of it and it resets itself, if that on-screen display is on, it will erase your footage on that GoPro 90% of the time. If you turn that OSD off, the footage will remain on your SD card. That's weird how that works, but I found that in many cases.
Good God, that is strange. I mean, fortunately, I don't have an OSD. Well, I do. I have a small OSD, but it's not, not one that I can control the camera with as such. So I've never come across that, but that's interesting you should say that. But I think it was last month or month before, I bought a load of new SD cards, all Class 10s, just in case, because my SD cards are 2 years old.
We got some buzzing. We got some buzzing, or is it? Yeah, I hear when I'm talking. You hear that crackling?
Yeah, I can hear the crackling. Is that? Try again now.
That's even when you talk, you can hear it. It's like a buzzing in your voice when you're talking.
Maybe it's my voice.
A troll will let you know that.
Stop trolling me, Chris. Anyway, to bring it back on zones, I really love to bring it back on zones. What's your best and what's your worst?
My best drone is, I'm still leaning towards my 3DR Solo. I love that thing. My worst drone, I'd have to say the worst drone I've flown was the XK X100 that I've owned and bought. That thing literally lasted probably 3 flights because the circuit board is the circuit board and the motors go in the circuit board. So it literally, I think, hitting the ground, it just messes something up on it and it will not fly after 3 flights. It did acro and everything. So to me, that was the worst drone I've ever messed with.
Yeah. That's a shame. Every single drone that I get, I think to myself, I can good. I do hate bad drones, but then again, you're going to get it everywhere. So there we are. I tell you what, Chris, we're going to call it there. How does that sound to you? Is that right?
I could barely make you out now.
Have I gone so quiet?
The buzzing, yeah, the buzzing's got really bad. Let me unplug my mic. I still have the buzz. Yeah, it's still there.
Still there? Okay. We'll break this.
It's like a bunch of crackling and all, like.
Is it? I can't hear it. I can't hear it at all. Let me try sorting up my mic for a second. Any better?
It did like some ping pong. I think it might have left now.
All gone?
Nope. Still there.
Back?
It's back, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a shame. Yeah, I can't hear a thing at all. Yeah, all right then, folks. I tell you what, should we call that there?
Yeah, because your voice is coming back now, but you could still hear that static coming back, and that's how it started. It got real faint, and then it come in, and then your voice was like Voltron's. Yeah.
Okay.
It's your drone voice, they say.
It's my drone voice. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, Southpaw Drones, JD Exterminate. Yeah, me, part Cylon, part Dalek. All right. Okay, folks. Well, Chris, stay on the line, mate, and we'll have a quick chat if we can. If the static isn't too bad. Thanks everybody else for tuning in. Sorry, this has just turned into a bit of a nightmare with the audio. I'll try and see if I can get this better for next week. So there we are, folks. Thank you. Cheers for being part. Cheers for your questions. Thank you ever so much, and I'll see you very, very soon. Take care,
guys.
folks.
Love y'all.
Love you. Thank you for joining in.